State and local leaders are responding to the recent review of this past year's ISTEP tests. State Superintendent Glenda Ritz spoke at a news conference. Specifically, she talked about the numbers, which some people are having a hard time believing. News Channel 15's Gina Glaros has been following this story, and she continues our coverage tonight with more. Gina?
The Indiana Department of Education hired a third party to review this year's results after CTV McGraw-Hill's software experienced interruptions. His study, released yesterday, said your child's scores won't be affected by this year's glitches. Although he says his data supports his findings, some are wary as they decide where to go from here.
Students were administered the test online, and approximately 80,000 of those were directly interrupted. However, there really is an undetermined number of students who were indirectly affected.
Looking at the data, that the net impact of the interruptions was nil.
In a press conference Monday, Dr. Richard Hill of the National Center for the Improvement of Education Assessment admits his findings might come as a surprise to many. That includes local superintendent Dr. Stephen Yeager.
100% of Southwest Allen County school students. So we think it does impact us, and there's no way it doesn't impact us. So we just can't buy the results of Dr. Hill's study.
Dr. Wendy Robinson, superintendent of Fort Wayne Community Schools, says most of her 12,000 students tested were affected in one way or another. She issued the following statement, quote, "We have reviewed the report issued by Dr. Hill, and we are still determining what it means for FWCS moving forward. We still have grave concerns about the effect this testing process had on our students, both in the short and long term. And we know this year more than ever we will be focusing on our internal measures to determine student needs for the upcoming school year." But Dr. Hill says he's going by the data he has.
There is no definitive way of determining how a student would have scored had that student not been interrupted. We only have the data of what has happened when they have been interrupted.
As far as teacher evaluations, there will be more flexibility this year. The state has given local school districts the option to decide how much ISTEP scores will factor into those evaluations. Not using them at all, however, is not one of those options. Gina Glaros, News Channel 15.